We have this 765 in, first time this 765 comes in. This car gets tracked a lot. The owner was experiencing some issues with, like power was surging on the track, you know, he'd accelerate and it would cut power, and then he would accelerate and then it would cut power again, but no faults on the dash. We got it in. Usually the culprit on this is usually the cat's melt or the turbo inlet pipes fail. In this case, the turbo inlet pipes had failed, but the cats had also started melting. So what to do? We put our stage 2 package on there. That puts turbo inlet pipes, our silicon inlets, decat down pipes, and blow-off valves and air filters. It's got our tune on there now as well. We're now going to dyno it to see what it makes. Alright guys, you probably noticed when it was on the dyno now, it was spluttering a bit and then it cut power. It's misfire. From the engine roughness monitor we can see that cylinders 2 and cylinders 4 were misfiring. We pulled all the coils out. It is running stock coils. The stock ignition coils on a 765 LT are from a Nissan Sentra. Obviously not designed for a high performance engine running, you know, 1.6 bar of boost, a lot of ignition, and a lot of cylinder pressure. Here is the main problem with the stock coil. This is the head of the coil and this is the boot of the coil, and in the middle there's a spring. The spring gets weak, and when it gets weak it stops behaving like a spring. So that connection between the top of the ignition coil and the spark plug that goes on the other end, it becomes looser over time because the spring gets hot and cold and hot and cold and hot and cold. So there's no longer a solid connection between the spring and the spark plug anymore. That's the main issue. That's why we get misfires. Any build that we do, we always recommend putting GTR coils on because it maintains tension over a number of years. Like, we've yet to see one fail. We obviously have our custom boot that allows our GTR coil to be a drop-in upgrade. Alright, so this is our GTR coil. Very similar to the stock coil. Similar boot length. These are our custom 3D printed ignition coil boots. You can see the spark plug maintains a great connection in there. You fit one of these, it's, you know, for 5 years you don't even need to think about changing the coils again, and you don't need to be out on a track day or on a run and the car's misfiring. We've not had any issues in the past 3 or 4 years we've been using these coils. They're just, you know, a fit and forget item, regardless of the horsepower level. Backstory with this car, it's new to the owner. He took it on track. He was getting throttle closures on track. He took it somewhere that I think maybe thought it was the spark plugs. So they changed the spark plugs, but with the stock ignition coil being a really sensitive part, they've unfortunately, I think, introduced a new issue because from the videos that I received of the car wasn't misfiring, and then the spark plugs got changed and now it is misfiring. Throttle closure was because of a completely different reason. It was because the turbo inlet pipes were broken. We spoke about that a bit earlier. But yeah, it's got brand new fresh spark plugs in there. Unfortunately, when you disturb the stock coils, that spring inside gets really unhappy and the car triggers misfires. So I'm just checking the spark plug gap on, we removed the spark plugs to check A, are the original spark plugs, because we use OEM spark plugs on all our builds unless they're over 1300 wheel. And B, have they messed with the plug gap, because we use stock plug gap on all builds unless again it's over 1300 wheel. Because when you drop this plug gap, it doesn't help with misfires. It actually reduces the power of the car.
Like the Wild Wild West.
This is arguably one of the rarest McLarens in the world, and it's mostly because of this. 600 LT Napier green, and it's a spider. It's like a unicorn. I love this car. The car will be getting a full service as it comes from Japan. And it's getting a clutch catch can, it's getting a new diff oil, it's getting engine oil, it's getting coolant, like the whole thing. It's gonna be stock for now because the owner wants to enjoy the car stock. That's a good rule of thumb, you know, you enjoy the car stock, get a feel for it, and then once you get, I mean, you're not gonna get bored of a 600 LT, but once you get kind of bored, you do a stage 2, and then the flames are gonna shoot up.
Who's not entertained by my pain? Who ain't cash a check off my name? When my campaign turned to campaign, I burned 8 billion to take off my chains.
Oh, came all the way from Japan, right? So I have a leaf from Japan, bro. Oh, for sure, this is from Japan. Oh, I have an imported leaf here, bro. This is leaf from Japan.
You charge it for cookie, that's bang for your buck. If you're kissing on the mouth, you ain't charging enough. You heard I was flying them out, they was trying for clout, I was dying of gout. Man, the world gone mad, heard R. Kelly in the next Balenciaga ad. Running like a candle light, your love is dangerous. Your love is, my love is, our love is. Burning like a candle light, your love is dangerous. Your love is, my love is, our love is. Running like a wild, wild west. What if you done wild out, yeah? Riding in the big God bless. She's all I know. It's a hell of a time.
With this being a Japanese car, we're going to region convert it to GCC. This is MVS. These are all of the modules. So you've got body control, convertible roof control, door modules, engine control modules. If you just go through and plug it in on standard MDS and just reprogram everything, it won't convert it to a GCC. It'll still keep it as a Japanese spec. So what we do is there's coding in the switch control unit gateway, and we tweak that to tell the car that it is now GCC car and no longer a Japanese car. Once we've done that, we can then reprogram all of the modules on the car to GCC variants, and yeah, the car is much happier overall. And it gets rid of the Japanese stuff on the head unit and the main menu. One of the great things about Japanese cars is they're super clean. It's like, this has got 15,000 clicks on it and it's like brand new. The Japanese really look after their cars, and I guess maybe they don't, I don't know what the climate is like there, but there's definitely no rust. So they're probably very far away from any salt water. Japanese cars, good cars, but of course always get it inspected anyway. We'll get the region conversion done on this. Full service, clutch breather, and switching the clutch oil out for DCTF. We use a high torque clutch fluid which heats up less. Most of the things we're doing with this car is for heat management, as it's going to be tracked. Otherwise the cars get really unhappy on the track, especially with device climate. Plug gaps are all good. They are OEM. They haven't gapped them down. That's something that we don't like to see. It does just seem to be a case of, you know, the shop thought it was misfiring on track. They changed the spark plugs to try and resolve the misfire, but they've disturbed the springs in the coils in the process. One of the things, if you're really adamant about wanting to use stock coils, one of the things that I recommend doing, when you pull it out, stretch the spring, okay? So there's more tension between there. Put it back into the coil, and then you can reassemble it, okay? That adds more tension. But again, this is a temporary fix. It's not something you really want to be doing. It's like, you know, $500,000 hypercar or supercar. You should get some proper coils in there. The GTR coils, you never need to stretch any springs. You drop them in, they have a stronger spark, and they just work. But if you're adamant and if you're on a budget, then this is what you do. You just take this coil apart, stretch the spring for some more tension, put it back into the car, and you'll be golden. In this case, we're going to drop in GTR coils because we don't want to ever see a misfire on any of our McLarens. I refuse to use these on big builds. We'll do another dyno run, and I'm pretty confident it will do a clean sweep.